Germany's number 3. World number 15. He's playing some of the best table tennis of his life at the moment. He beat Liang Jingkun at the T2 in Malaysia, got to the quarter-final. He beat Fan Zhendong at the Australian Open, and then nearly beat Xu Xin in the semi-final. Franziska had an amazing Australian Open, and his world ranking's risen to top 15. He'll be wanting to get into the top 10. It's going to be, I'm always thinking it's going to be very interesting to see what Team Germany are going to select for the Olympics. I mean, you obviously expect Timo Boll-Oftorov. They've been the two at the top of the tree. But it could also be dependent upon ranking, because you don't want your two countrymen to have to play each other early on in the Olympic draw. See if Deni Kozul can cause an upset here, give some hope to the 5th seeded Slovenians. As I said, the winner of this match, in terms of the whole team match out of Germany and Slovenia, will play the winner of Poland and France, who play later on this evening. But it is Patrick Franziska that is expected to win this. Deni Kozul is 101 in the world, so he'll be breaking into the top 100 shortly, you'd imagine. But no, 101 against number 15, Franziska, is expected to win, but you never know in table tennis. First sort of saw Deni Kozul at the European Under-21 Championships. He got to the semi-final stage of that. Remember that because he beat England's Tom Jarvis in the quarter-final. Like all of the German players, Franziska has an excellent backhand topspin. He took Fan Zhendong out with it at the Australian Open this year. As I said before, and nearly beat Xu Xin. He's a very dangerous man when he's on form. He first broke onto the scene at the 2015 World Championships in Xu, where he got to the quarter-final. And he's gone from strength to strength since then. And he's now one of the fine faces of Europe. Bit of fortune on the side of Franziska. Gives himself a 2-point advantage as the players towel down. Every 6 points, you're entitled to go over to the towel. If you're a little bit sweaty, get the perspiration off you. Look at that 4-1 counter. Front of his body, close back angle, weight transfer, textbook table tennis. And there's the backhand that I was talking about before. That's improved so much. It's such a force to be reckoned with. It looks unreturnable at times. It's like he just revs it up and releases this ball of energy. Kozul is a very technically good player. Stable in the blocking game, good in the countering game, but he's going to have to produce a lot of magic to beat Patrick Franziska, because I think it's safe to say he's in the form of his life at the moment. Training also at Saarbrücken in Germany. play in the Bundesliga. Like a lot of Germans and Europeans do. Ovtruff doesn't play in the Bundesliga, he plays in the Russian league. The same team that Mitsutani and Samsonov have played for. They have won the Champions League in table. There's so many leagues going on at the moment in table tennis. You know, you've got the Indian League. It's been a good spectacle. The T2 League, the German League, the Japan League, the T League. The new T League that's going from strength to strength. Chinese Super League, which Ovtcharov and Ball have played in previously. Leagues all over the world, wherever you go. But I don't think there's as much pride in that as there is in representing your country at these big events, such as your continental championships and world championships. As the seeding suggests, Franziska takes a 10-6 lead in the opener. Not yet, says Deni Kozul. Saw the receive coming and swats it into the open space. Another nice backhand again. Saves 2 game points, converts both of his serves. Here we see again. Backhand flick. Franziska. 2 game points remaining. Franziska would love to do it on this first serve. And there's the backhand that we love. German camp happy, Franziska happy, 11-8. They'd love to close this 3-0. To display their dominance to the other European teams. They are expected, and obviously expect themselves, to move into the semi-final. Poland and France. And the home crowd will be behind the Frenchmen. They take on Poland. We'll expect to hear a lot of roaring going on in the crowd as the contingency of Simon Gauzy, Kamikuzu, Emmanuel Eberson, Tristan Flora play for national pride on home soil. So it was the world ranked 15, Patrick Franziska, that took the first game. What can the world ranked 101 Slovenian young man do to throw a spanner in the works of Franziska's game? Very tall lad, Patrick Franziska. He's a big unit, but he's swift over the table. He's well built. But as well as being well built, you have to have a large amount of flexibility to be able to contort and twist your body into difficult positions. A lot of resistance training and gym work that goes into table tennis that a lot of people might not realise. But a convincing start for Patrick Franziska in the second end. I love that backhand. I really love Patrick Franziska's backhand. do recommend that you watch his match against Fan Zhendong at the Australian Open. You'll be very impressed with how powerful it is, and consistent for that matter. But it was a nice flick there from Deni Kozul as he gets Franziska up. Nice setup for the forehand, but Kozul can't finish what he started in that rally. 5-2 to Franz. Whoa! Goodness me, look how much side spins on that forehand. Kozul just put his bat on it back with some feeling. Very difficult ball to return. Speechless. Lovely angle he makes there on the side of the table. Oh, backhand to match. This is a masterclass in third ball table tennis from Franziska here in this second game. 8-2, a very dominant display. It was a close game at the start with 11-8. Franziska's just got better and better, hasn't he? Learned from his mistakes in the first game pretty well and moved on to give himself a more convincing advantage. Kozul hasn't found a way to take away Franziska's strengths. Bob and Dean are having a little chat about things. I'm sure table tennis related, but you never know. Both men are married. We often see Ovtchov's wife Jenny come in to support him, and Ovtchrov has a young daughter whom he loves dearly, I'm sure. And I remember the European Championships that he won some years ago, and he ran into the stands and kissed his wife Jenny. So I'm sure he's a family man as well as a sportsman. Nice play from Kozul, sending Franziska a different way to what he expected, but it looks as though that's going to be too little too late. And that's the strength that Franziska's spread across the land of Slovenia as he takes a 2-0 lead. Roskopf will be pretty satisfied with the way his team's performed. Despite that scare at the start that Ovtchrov went 2-0 down to Darko Jorgic, winning straight sets, and Franziska's also on track to doing so. They'll be wanting to get rested after this and recover mentally and physically before tomorrow's semi-final match against the winner of Poland and France. On the other side of the draw, there's Austria and Portugal, England, Sweden. Bit of a deja vu there with England and Sweden. They played in the quarter-final of the World Team Championships in Halmstad. Sweden beating England on that occasion 3-0 in the quarter-final. Team England have had their fair share of success. 2016 Kuala Lumpur World Team Championships, they got to the semi-final. They lost to Japan 3-1, but came so close to the final in which they won. But they had a fantastic 2018 World Championships because England beat Chinese Taipei. They beat Japan in the group stage, actually. So England-Sweden will be a very, very entertaining spectacle for you fans out there. And it's just going to get better and better as the day goes on. Look at that backhand from Patrick Franziska. Fishing. Manages to find space for the counter. That's the thing of beauty, isn't it? That's just so good. Kozul doesn't look happy about it, but what can you do? It's a nice long push from Kozul. Comes in with the open racket face. Comes across the ball to disguise where he's going to put it. Puts it into Franziska's middle. Crossover point. They're the sort of places to put the ball. Either in the wide areas where your opponent isn't, or into the opponent's pocket or middle. Because if you play it into your opponent's section, it's hard for them to make space to play a shot. The backhand again that's caused Deni Kozul so many problems. And then the follow-up forehand from Franziska. A lot of Fs. Commentator's use of alliteration. 5-2 to Franziska. Make that 6-2. Kozul's been picked apart in the past two sets. I'm going to try and do a little bit of maths now. Franziska's won 28 points and Kozul's on 17 points. So it gives you an idea of the difference there. You'll see all the stats at the end of the match. But Franziska's been pretty convincing. Especially in the middle to the end parts of the games. He's really stamped his authority. And we haven't seen him miss a lot of forehand counters either. He's been very good. And when your forehand's there, every shot on your backhand's as good as Patrick's, you can understand why he's ranked 15 in the world. As he doubles the lead to 8-4 in the third. I'm sure Jorgic will be a little bit disappointed that he couldn't sway the tide way at the start against Ovtcharov after being 2-0 up. But as you have to do as a sportsman and woman, you have to put the past behind you and move on. Clever flick. And then the harder shots to follow up. 9-4. Deni Kozul's definitely one of the hopes for European table tennis's future. But Franziska's just seen it and done it a little bit more. Slovenia actually have a good couple of younger players that are quite promising, so I'm sure that they'll have a good future with Darko Jorgic and Deni Kozul heading that young limelight. The coach not looking too happy. but it's 4 match points. And there we have it. Thank you very much, says Patrick Franziska and Team Germany, as they advance to the semi-final tomorrow. They'll play the winner of Poland and France, who face off later on this evening. A very interesting evening of table tennis coming up. And both teams shaking hands and acknowledging good play and good sportsmanship throughout the whole spectacle. So well played, Franziska, Bolanoff-Churoff. Slovenia, a team that haven't had such a rich history of table tennis like Germany, but are building the future. So, stay tuned for more quarter-final action coming up of the men's and women's. You really don't want to miss it. I'm your commentator, Fraser Riley. Take care for now.